Hello, everyone. Welcome to the practical class of warehousing and distribution management. Today, let's learn about inventory counting together. Let's see what task warehouse manager Xiao Lu has received. Wanshishing Logistics Center is a large comprehensive distribution center. The warehouse has many zones. There's a general merchandise area, appliance areas, and mechanical parts areas, etc. Because the parts warehouse operates 24 hours a day, supplying parts to the production line around the clock. Inventory items change in real time, and sometimes the information system inventory and physical changes cannot be completely synchronized. In order to find the physical inventory and system inventory does not match the situation, the warehouse uses the cycle counting method, ensuring a cycle is completed every month. What inventory counting method does the warehouse use? Why is this method used? Cycle counting was mentioned here. So let's learn about the inventory counting methods. But before learning the inventory methods, we also need to understand how warehouse inventory is managed. Let's first learn about what ABC classification is. The full name of the ABC classification method is ABC Classification Inventory Control Method. It was pioneered by Italian economist Pareto. The core idea of this method is to distinguish between primary and secondary factors in determining the many elements of a thing. In the warehouse, there are always a few types of goods, but their value is greater than the value of most types of goods. Let's take inventory management as an example to illustrate how to classify. The first step is to calculate the amount of each material. Step 2. Arrange in descending order according to the amount. Step 3. Calculate the ratio of each material amount to the total inventory amount. Step 4. Calculate the cumulative ratio. In the fifth step, we classify. For cumulative ratios between 0% and 60%, we classify it as Class A material. For cumulative ratios between 60% and 85%, we classify it as Class B material. For cumulative ratios between 85% and 100%, we classify it as Class C material. Then, for Class A materials, they are of high value and very important. It is recommended to conduct an inventory count every 15 days or monthly to ensure timely monitoring of inventory changes. The value and importance of Class B inventory items are lower than Class A. It is recommended to conduct an inventory count every 45 days or quarterly. Then, for Class C goods, their value is the lowest, and the quantity is larger. Therefore, the inventory frequency can be appropriately reduced. It is generally recommended to conduct an inventory count every 90 days or semi-annually. Therefore, cycle counting should be combined with the importance of inventory management. Inventory methods are usually divided into book inventory and physical inventory. Book inventory involves setting up separate accounts for each item. Then, the details of each item's inbound and outbound movements are meticulously recorded. This is best suited for goods with low volume and high unit prices. Physical inventory, on the other hand, is based on the timing of the count. It's divided into year-end inventory and cycle counting. So, cycle counting, as we mentioned earlier. Year-end inventory refers to the method of counting all goods at the end of a period. Cycle counting is doing small counts of a few items daily or weekly. Inventory. By the end of the month or period, each item has been inventoried at least once. Physical inventory is the primary method. It is widely used in enterprises. In terms of the detail of the count, it can be divided into blind counting, physical counting, and composite counting. Blind counting is printing a blank form, where the counters must carefully inventory the physical items. and fill in all the information on the inventory sheet. Physical counting is printing all the product information and quantities. The counters only need to go to the site to count and verify the accuracy of the information. If discrepancies are found, they are noted for revision. Composite counting is printing out a list of product information, but without the quantities. The counters fill in the actual quantities after counting. Next, let's summarize the differences between cycle counting and year-end inventory. In terms of timing, year-end inventory is arranged at the end of the quarter or year. The number of counts per year is low. Cycle counting is done daily or weekly. Year-end inventory involves almost all employees. Cycle counting is usually done by 1 or 2 warehouse keepers. Year-end inventory can reveal more inventory discrepancies, and they're discovered late. Therefore, it's not easy to track. Cycle counting finds fewer discrepancies, and they're discovered early, making it easier to track the cause. Year-end inventory requires production to be stopped, while cycle counting, you just need to find the right time. It can be done concurrently with production. Year-end inventory counts all goods without differentiating. Cycle counting focuses on A-class items. B and C-class items can be counted less frequently. Adequate preparation is essential before starting inventory operations. First, coordinate with financial accounting to prepare, design and print forms for inventory counting. Prepare basic inventory supplies and tools. The timing of the inventory should be negotiated, and the timing of the tasks needs to be determined. The timing of the inventory generally depends on the inventory method. For the end-of-period inventory, it's usually scheduled at the end of a quarter, half-year, or year. So, a full inventory 2 to 4 times a year shuts down operations for 1 to 2 days. The initial count is completed by 10 a.m. and the recount is completed by 3 p.m. The spot check is completed by 5 p.m. and the data entry is completed by 6 p.m. The inventory results can be reported by 10 a.m. the next. However, some companies have inconsistent warehouse sizes, and the staffing is also different, so it depends on the specific situation. As for the month-end inventory time, it's based on the finance department's monthly closing time, and should not affect normal production and operation activities. As for cycle counting, it's carried out daily and weekly according to the plan. Cycle counting is usually done by warehouse keepers, while the end-of-period inventory is more strict. An inventory team needs to be established. The initial count is the responsibility of the warehousing department, and the recount is the responsibility of finance or other department heads. Spot checks are the responsibility of department supervisors. Both types of inventory require careful analysis of inventory differences. The first step in the on-site inventory is to first clean up the inventory site. Before the inventory, the goods that have been inspected and put into the warehouse should be organized and placed into storage. Goods that have not been inspected and are owned by suppliers should be clearly distinguished to avoid confusion. Advance notice should be given before the inventory site is closed. Prepare the goods that need to be taken out of the warehouse in advance. Account cards and document data should be sorted and cleared uniformly. Identify deteriorated and damaged goods in advance. Implement the initial count. In the initial count stage, first, the leader of the inventory team distributes the inventory sheets to the inventory personnel in each area, requiring them to count the quantity of goods in their respective areas, fill out the inventory sheet, and hang up the initial count label, and report the results of the initial count to the inventory team leader, including the difference in quantity of inventory surplus and shortage. The recount work is mostly the responsibility of other departments. The recount work is to review based on the inventory sheets from the initial count stage. The key point of the recount is to thoroughly check and fill out the inventory sheet for every few items. The most important thing is to handle inventory differences. Inventory work is about finding problems, while difference handling is about solving problems. For inventory errors, such as missed or incorrect counts, our solution is generally to first improve the inventory management system and strictly follow the inventory procedures. Strengthen training on inventory operations. If necessary, monitoring can be installed as a basis for confirming the truth afterwards. Secondly, regarding the issue of measurement units, this usually includes packaging changes, conversion errors, etc. Our solution is generally to promptly publicize any new changes that arise. And for those who haven't paid attention to these issues in time, we also need to strengthen business training. Another issue is discovering theft during the inventory process. While strengthening security, we must focus on the education of both new and old employees. Serious cases can be dealt with severely. Regarding the issue of entering the system for incoming and outgoing goods, you can choose more suitable talents to strengthen the job training. Regarding natural losses, damage, and evaporation in the warehouse, we need to improve storage methods and conditions. There are also other issues such as shipping errors. We need to strengthen cargo handling and review. There should be no stowaways or inconsistencies between the inside and outside of the box. Finally, regarding the reasons for the discrepancy handling results and subsequent rectification measures, it should be compiled into an inventory report. After approval by higher-level leaders, the data will be entered into the system to correct the inventory data. Okay, this course is now over. Thank you all.